Bilal Dardai, that's what I thought, is a writer and performer who has worked for nearly 2 decades in Chicago's vibrant literary live theater scene. He has spent 12 years as an ensemble member of the acclaimed artistic collective, the Neo-Futurists. 3 of those as artistic director, and is now an ensemble member with Lifeline Theater. Bilal is a regular in Chicago's many live lit shows, providing essays and social commentary for Right Club and The Paper Machete, among others. He is also a member of the writing staff for the award-winning audio drama Pleasure Town, and has recently embarked on a new audio project with Heartlife, creators of Our Fair City. He unfortunately could not be here tonight, but he did send us this video.
This is my son's bed. He goes to sleep in it, eventually. Somewhere in that wasteland between the moment he falls asleep and the end of the story or the end of the song that night, sometimes my son will say to me, "Can we talk?" And I, like a fool, agree to it. My son asks me about his elementary school, Lincoln Elementary. He asks me, who was Abraham Lincoln? Abraham Lincoln was an American president, I say. Like Donald Trump, he asks? No, not like Donald Trump. I clarify, because there are things we believe in this house, and among those things we believe is that Donald Trump is a cruel and corrupt bully, and he cannot simply be named the equal of Lincoln just because they once shared the same office. That is not something we permit in this house, like screen time before 9 a.m. or chocolate after 5 p.m. We say these things because we want our son to grow up healthy. Why is the school named after Abraham Lincoln? Because he was a great man. Well, what made him a great man? Well, during the Civil War, he tried to keep the country from breaking apart. What was the Civil War? Well, the Civil War was a war between the northern states and the southern states. Well, why were they fighting? Well, because the southern states wanted to keep slavery. Do you know what slavery is? No, he says. And then we are awake for another 20 minutes past his bedtime. When my son was 4 years old, he came home from preschool, and he told me that they had learned that day about Rosa Parks and about how there had once been a law that said the people with black skin had to sit on the back of the bus. And he described it to me in a tone that indicated he thought the whole thing was ridiculous, that it was like some nonsense fable from a land where the trees grew fish and the blades of grass all wheezed like accordions. And I was both pleased that he thought of the idea as idiotic, and I was also concerned about how I was one day going to have to explain to him that there were many, many people, and there still are many, many people, who think those laws were not only reasonable, but necessary. I don't know how to explain racism to my son. I can tell him what it is and how it works and the harm it causes, but I can't really begin to talk about why. The skin color that we have is made up of oxidized tyrosine. Apparently this has been enough to create centuries of human misery, and I am trying to figure out if there's a way to explain something that preposterous in a way that keeps him from becoming either a victim or a participant within it. Usually at the end of these conversations, he and I both end up falling asleep, and in the morning, the answer still hasn't come.